the center of our conversation here this evening. We're going to a quick break now. When we come back, we'll head straight to discussion here. Don't forget that we are in the semi-finals of the French Open, and a lot of reaction from the various RGF. My name is Epo Temple.
Now. I hope nobody got it. Hello.
Why you ask? Oh?
Because this road, when they see so, you don't guarantee that video.
We just vote for government, but we not get good governance.
At all.
Road so in no day. Light to Usa. The infrastructure, the content to be forbidden fruit for the
corruption, well everything.
All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, it's Sports Extraordinary here on Atlantic Television Network, and I have joining me live to take you through the tactical formation as well as the blend and how the Super Eagles possibly will fare Bafana of South Africa tomorrow. Is Emmanuel Mikeman, the man I call the Mikeman, and of course he's here in the studio. Mike, welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening to you, Temple, and good evening to our viewers out there. A beautiful evening here because the atmosphere is already charged up because of Super Eagles game tomorrow. A lot to talk about. A lot also happened within the last 15 minutes in the French Open.
Okay, and of course we'll get started with the French Open like you talked about. It is 100 of the French Open, and of course it is 2,000 points at stake for the winner of this Grand Slam, as well as a projected 2.3 million euros for whoever wins on Saturday in the WTA. Same for the winner of the male category, and of course we'll take you now through to all that's happened in the last 24 hours. Earlier we saw Coco Golf, lost that game to world number 1 Iga Swiatek. We saw the semi-final, reactions from the both players. Coco Golf looking like a very familiar player. A lot of person had the intention that she might just do it again. It is her 12th game, and she has lost
Her imperious display to dismantle like Kobe. But like I say, it wasn't surprising for me.
It wasn't surprising, and in the other game of the day, we saw clearly the two young teenagers battled so hard in the other semi-final clash. It was between Jasmine Paolini and Miriam Andreeva, the Russian. But of course, the young teenager, Jasmine Paolini, did so well for herself. She's 9 to the finals with a 6-3, 6-1 win for her against Andreval Mira. This is one lady who also said that Sabalenka, one would have expected to give a very strong ground. But it looks like Paulini, who got the better of Rebekina.
Zabalenka, we definitely know that she was favored for this very one against a teenager, 17 years old. Being hosted at you. Of course, you say yes, she also did her best. Getting this far is not a mean feat, but then I expected her to continue to ride on that wave. But then it became a fairy tale run came to an end just a few minutes ago, which for me, she must be holding her head very, very high because of this massive achievement. Taking a look at her age, they want to say, yes, she still has time to also improve. It is an experience that she has learned, and she must also, gather the broken pieces and pick up from there. For me, I think she did pretty well. Looking at what she was able to do, some of the that we also tipped to get this far were also knocked out earlier in the tournament. The likes of Onjo Bois, the likes of Arina Zabalenka. Some of the big names that you expect to see final come this far, but then all of them were knocked out. Remaining this teenager at 17, she got this far in the French Open. I mean, she deserved to be praised for what she has done so far. But then I think this was the end of the road for her. We hope to see, Paulini to get this far, but having seen Iga Swiatek still very much around, I think it's even going to be a very, very difficult obstacle for her. But then I think it's a big congratulations for Paulini for coming this far.
Big congratulations for coming this far, and I can tell you for sure that tomorrow it will be showdown in the ATP. And of course, I'll get to see Carlos Alcaraz will take on a certain Yannick Sinner, just as we expect to see a certain Alexander Zverev who will battle Kasper Ruud, and who that will determine who gets to play on Sunday's final for the coveted prize.
I think it's going to be a massive encounter, one that many tennis fans all across the globe want to fix their eye on, especially the game between Yannick Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz. Also,
Thursday and the next 2 days, we should be thinking of the finals, the first final. That's the WTA before the final one on Sunday. Do you think that this year's French Open has lived up to the hype, the bidding, expectation, the controversies? I mean, put all together, has it lived up to its expectation?
Yeah, definitely for me, it has actually lived up to the expectation, because some of the regular names, some of the traditional names you expect to see in the final have all been knocked out, exception of few of them that is still very much around, especially in the ATP, talking about the likes of Alcaraz and Alexander Zverev. These are some of the big names that are still very much around. In the WTA, yeah, Iga Swiatek still there, Paulini is still there. But for me, I think generally looking at it, I think it has actually leached. They have been fearing, because of this Olympic that is coming, they have been able to manage it minimally. I think we have not had any issue of security breach and all of that. So for me, taking a look at the whole organizational structure for this year, I tell you, within the range of 10, I think I will give them 7.5% accuracy for what they've done so far.
7.5% accuracy, and I tell you for sure that, like Mike said, the 123rd edition of the French Open, has really had its own share of excitement that it's more desired, like we saw at the start of the year when we had the Australian Open. After this one, it will now be time for the Wimbledon, and made massive preparation for that particular one. But we'll keep our eyes fixed on the final of the WTA, the French Open, and of course the semi-finals tomorrow. And the
And if you discover or you know the nature of the Calabar to highway from Calabar down to very
long distance.
Not long distance per se, but because of the
road.
The nature of the road, it makes it look as though maybe if you are going there from Calabar to Rio right now, you have to spend as much as maybe 2 hours, 30 minutes, 3 hours, or 4 hours if there is no any obstacles on the road, because most time there is this tankers that used to fall across the road because nature of the road. So you have to wait as much as 4 hours, 5 hours before you can get through from Calabar to the hotel. One thing is certain, I was able to arrive camp, which is very, very good.
Very, very good, and I can tell you for sure that massive preparation for that particular side. Just a few hours ago, our correspondent spoke with Samir Jaye, and he asked about the camp, how the camp is going, the blend and the preparation for that game tomorrow. And Samir Jaye, one of the centre back we expect to see in the lineup tomorrow, was very optimistic that what with the preparation and the setup, that the boys knows how challenging this game can be for the task ahead.
Yeah, you would expect him to say the least. That is what he should say. You know, and he also made mention of the fact that they are not working with a new gaffer because Finidi George has been part and parcel of the technical crew of Joseph Pissarro, who left. So it's not more like they are working with a new coach. They have been working with Finidi George. It's just that now Finidi George is officially the head coach. So for me, I think that makes it very, very easy for the players as well to get along with the coach, because this is a familiar face that they know. Just the concluded African Cup of Nations, all of them were there in Africa. So for me, I think that helps the players as well to settle down the more. And the players, they are beaming with confidence. They want to get this job done at doorstep because they know the magnitude of this very game, that all 3 points is what Nigerians crave for, and nothing that will be short of that 3 point that will satisfy Nigeria. So I think he made the right statement out there, giving Nigeria that hope, giving us that belief that indeed all is well, and we are getting ready to go for.
Same thought was also shared. Our same opinion was also, shared by Bright Osayi Samuel, who, of course, one of the centre back, also one of the fullback we'll get to see tomorrow in that encounter. Our correspondent has been giving us all the details of the games and how the camp is bubbling. And it looks like the way the camp is set up, there are time for media, interaction, time for training. They are going to train today by 6 p.m. And I'm sure now they're already in their training right now, because they will have to train for 2 hours, and then the South African team will train from 8 p.m. tomorrow. I'm sure they chose that because they need to master. But we'll talk about South Africans. But in terms of the general setup and the flair in the camp, it looks like everything is going down well.
Yeah, in the last 2 hours, I think everything is going down well. But before then, I think the late arrival to some players have actually caused some panic in different quarters, because we heard earlier about 15 players arrived at the camp 2 days ago, before about 5 of them also joined the camp 2 days ago as well, to make the total number to 20. And then yesterday we saw Iwobi and Lukman Ademola breeze into the camp, making the total number to 20.
And finally, they arrived, this afternoon on a very wealthy terrain. And this is not it wasn't a funny look for them, but they are crying foul. But we just saw a release, a recent release from the NFF, saying that they have no hand in whatever debacle or challenge that might have plagued the South African team.
Yeah, definitely. I listened to the media officer talking about Ademola Olajire, talking about the fact that the South Africans are complaining, but then I think they did themselves the harm, because
massive preparation also from the South African side. Coach Hugo Bruce, the coach of the Bafana Bafana, has said that yes, the players are young, and they are not coming into the country for a revenge, but rather they just want to qualify. And what that statement implies is, we need to get to the 3 points to qualify. That's what it means. So Nigeria are a good side, but we want to qualify. And the last time we played in 2017, it was a 2-0 bash. In fact, they divergent, the nest of champions. They go to the Akpabio Stadium 10 years ago, and they look like they are in for another upset tomorrow.
It's looking very likely, because if you take a look at this Bafana side, they are cross of players that play in the same league. Most of them play for Mamelodi Sundowns.
9 players of the Bafana plays for Mamelodi Sundowns.
So it makes it very, very easy for them to blend. They have been in camp for about 3 good weeks right now. Then, before they jetted out from South Africa down to Nigeria, the coach, talking about Hugo Bruce, was speaking to the media out there, listening very carefully. He promised the South Africans that out of the 2 games that is coming to play, that definitely is going to come back with 4 points. it means it's going to draw one and win one. That makes it 4 points. So for such a coach that is beaming with confidence, it clearly tells you that indeed they are not afraid of any enemy. And if you take a look at our encounter in the African Cup of Nations of recent, a normal duration time, we had to struggle before we could get that victory via penalty shootout. In fact, if not for the heroics of Stanley Nwabali, they should have won us, especially if we need the judge to be able to carve out a formation, which we are going to talk about, you know, to be able to upstage the South Africans. If not, they are already coming with anger. They want to make it through. But then, I tell you, it's going to be a massive encounter tomorrow.
Massive encounter, and I tell you for sure that, I mean, eyes are watching, and they're talking about followership. They're talking about if it's in South Africa, the vuvuzelas will be everywhere, and we'll get to see the stadium packed full. I mean, if you've been following the PSL in South Africa, you know that the fans don't joke, because they have, like in England, they have passionate fans for every club in South Africa. And so I expect that tomorrow we're going to have our stadium full, but then 1,000 naira so far pegged, except something happened from now till the next 24 hours. 1,000 naira for the regulars, and then 30,000 naira for the VIPs. And so you're asking, I mean, are we going to have the
Cross River is very close to there. Ebonyi State as well, very close. So if all these states come, can emerge themselves and come up with that passion in them to support the Super Eagles, I see the stadium at least being filled to maybe minimal size, not being filled to its capacity, because taking a look at the economic situation of the country right now, there are so many persons that would have loved to board a flight from Lagos or from Abuja or from different states down to Uyo. But taking a look at the capital flight and the expenditure, some person may want to say, okay, I will sit at the comfort of my home and watch this very
preparation for the big game tomorrow. 8 p.m. is the time against the Bafana of South Africa. And we're going to a quick break now. When we come back, we'll head straight to the formation, or the possible formation, tactics, and also everything that is needed for the game against the Bafana tomorrow. This is Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network.
And down goes Paul straight away. Oh, what a point to end it on. So now this is when they're at their best. That's when they're 12 years for this. So drink it in. Still goes to Ireland, New Zealand. Well, he loves to be immortality as an athlete. 19.79. It's a goal. It's 8 goals.
Driver, why you just dey jack us up and down like this now?
I hope nobody carry belle.
Why you ask oh?
Because this road where they see, so it no guarantee safe delivery.
We just dey vote for government, but we not get good governance.
At all.
Road so no dey, light outside, the infrastructure e come turn to be forbidden fruit for the city.
Corruption, spoil everything. Hello?
Hello, madam.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mrs. Ayeni. I am calling from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs.
Okay. Okay, I've been expecting your call.
Madam, remove this your phone from loudspeaker.
No verse. Now my phone be like that. Hello?
Are you there?
I hear, I'm hearing you.
Yes. We saw a copy of your invoice for computers, printers, and laptops.
Yes. Are you working on them now?
Ma, the prices you quoted are way too high now.
Madam, sorry, please don't call us.
We found the laptop you said is 1.8 million naira for 600,000 naira.
Hello?
Now my body network there.
I can't hear you. Network is bad.
Madam, we can hear you. Continue.
Hello, I can't hear you. We call you back.
Their behavior not good now.
Madam, now this kind behavior they kill our country. You suppose do things differently. Make Nigeria for better.
This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
I don't get where me and boys they shout beer in our house. I could pay that one. You remember saying me and tell you I go buy you motor. I go buy na.
Okay, they pay you money now. We don't they beg caretaker. We would they beg landlord, old man, and they agree give us time. Money can't come now. You won't divert time. You said na corruption. Corruption. Not in my house and not in my country.
Sure.
Sure.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by
from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
Kasali, I hope so my car don't ready. I get interview in 30 minutes. Oh, guy, you not ready. I just the last minute instruction where you give me yesterday. Now in the cause more delay. Which instruction? Maybe now you say make I change the meter, make you not read again. Which time I make you change meter? Oh, Kasali, why you do like this now? You don't get sense. You don't read the text message. Nobody I want send them to. Like Kasali, my electrician, make it come house, call me do my meter so that you don't go to read again. You the electrician? The electrician. Yes, now. So you call Kasali electrician, make it come help you adjust your meter, make it for no read again, Abi. So you said you want join people where be say they no want they pay NEPA bill again, Abi. Oga, you know good now. You know you said you know they behave like all these stiff people. Oh, what you change from your motor? What you change from? Two lights. Fuel gauge. Speedometer. For what you know, you for come out for home my motor. I better identify for me. Okay. Now don't do something we corrupt. And something come backfire. Now go come they find how to dodge them. What you talk? They greet you.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Akinfade.
What you want to buy?
Potato. Small basket. I want plantain. But why your plantain can't hard like this? Madam, now the outside hard. Inside there, it is very soft.
Madam, wallahi make I no buy them. Make I show you something. What? What in be this one? Madam, this one now the chemical where they put on for the plantain make I ripe up.
So you dey put chemical for plantain where people go chop? No water, no be chemical. Madam,
water. You know say Pela I don't talk and say water and not be enemy. Drink am.
Where I collect that water, drink am. I just stop finish. See my belly. After it don't big. I just stop drink water finish. I don't drink.
Wait, you drink am now. I dey sell am plantain. I go come put am for chemical because I want to make a ripe go. That's why I talk now corruption. Corruption. Not be for this kaswa. Come not be for this country. Now me talk am.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
ended on. So now this is when you're at the bench. And when they're 12 years finished. So drink it in.
All right, welcome back from that break. If you're not joining us, it's still Sports Extraordinary here on Atlantic Television Network. I did mention earlier that our focus will be on the tactical formation of Finidi George as he quests for his first game in charge of the Super Eagles of Nigeria as the head coach. And we'll look at the tactics and the formation, the possible first 11 that will be deployed, to marshal out in the first 45 minutes against the Bafana tomorrow, 8 p.m. So quickly, I have Mike here in the studio, and of course, we'll delve deep now into all
The challenges that is faced of players into the camp. What Nigerians want to know and want to see tomorrow is that Finidi George is able to, carve out a tactical formation that is going to at least get us all 3 points, and that should be the paramount, thought that is in the heart of Finidi George right now.
Of course, before the SZ, and it worked perfectly for him, what do you think will be the formation tomorrow, and which of the players, the first 11, that will best fit into the formation as we expect to see from Finidi George?
For me, looking at my, memograph, I think the best formation for tomorrow's game for Finidi George should be 4-4-2 formation. Now, if you go with 4-4-2 formation, you are going to have possibly the goal line here. I mean, the goal post, definitely Stanley Nwabali. I expect him to start from the goal post.
We have a certain Stanley Nwabali and the Maduko Koye. What makes you think that with the form of Maduko Koye, that Stanley Nwabali will take shine, start tomorrow against him?
Stanley Nwabali, no doubt, has been very instrumental for the Super Eagles, especially in the last that we are going for the World Cup.
So you think that by the fact that he knows the South Africans very well, that will also be so. Number one is Stanley Nwabali on the goal post.
Definitely. Then on the 5 and 6, I would prefer Bassi to pair with Shemi Ajayi on 5 and 6.
Okay.
Then in the left wing, the left back, I would like to see Chidozie Awaziem here.
Okay.
Then again in the right back, I would want to see Bright.
Nwabali is here.
Yeah.
We get to see Semi Ajayi,
of
who
course.
looks like the only centre back in sense now because Transfer Kong is not here.
Yeah.
Kenneth Omaro, we'll get to see him, and then possibly we might see Chidozie Awaziem, like you said.
Yeah.
And maybe Benjamin Taminu, play from if he's going with the same formation like his predecessor. But the thinking is, we have seen Kevin Bassi play as a centre back in Fulham this season, and he's been very fantastic. So,
very well.
don't you think, or are you having the thinking that he might be deployed to playing in the centre back position, even if regardless of the formation that is adopted, him partnering with a certain Sami Ajayi?
Well, for me,
As it stands now, and also knowing the composition of the opponent, how far can each of these formations that we adopted play? Or are we going to see a situation whereby he starts with a 4-4-3 or a 3-4-3 formation, and then later on he can swap depending on how far? So it means that Finidi George needs to be a master tactician, and that tactics now comes with, okay, this is not working well in the first half.
Yeah.
How do we reject that? How do we add the transition from one formation to the other? That might also be a key tomorrow.
Yeah, if the South Africans is going for 4-3-3 formation, then if Finidi George discover in the first half that this 4-4-2 is not working, he can also revert to 4-2-3-1 formation.
Okay.
When you have 4-2-3-1 formation, it means you are having 4 defense here.
Okay.
That their wingers will be effective, the midfield as well will be effective. So in order for you to nullify the very fastness and the wingers, the sharp pace of the wingers, you have to deploy 2 holding midfielders.
Okay.
If you discover that their midfield is very, very effective, so you have to deploy 2 defensive midfielders to absorb the pressure that will be coming from their midfield. So I think it's a matter of Coach Finidi George being able to read the game very well and know when to make a tactical rejigging. So at this point in time, because most time coaches win the game on the bench.
True.
If you are a good coach tactically, that is why I give it to Pep Guardiola.
If he finally decides to go with a 3-4-3 formation,
then what happens is that Ndidi have to sit back, and that is where you need to divert to 4-2-3-1 formation, meaning that you are going to have 2 holding midfielders, and that will also mean that Ndidi must sit. He must not play the Enzo Maresca style of trying to adventure forward. So it takes discipline as well. It takes a tactical brilliance for Finidi George to be able to put these things, you know, in perspective. Because we are saying it right here because we are conversant with these players when they play week in, week out. The question is, has Finidi George taken his time to be able to go through these players' profile, what they have done so far this season? Because if you don't get to, for example, Lukman Ademola, if you saw how Gasperini has been using him for a certain Atalanta this side, you discover that
of him tomorrow in line with the formation that will be deployed and the tactics for tomorrow. If you want to come tomorrow, we'll look at, we'll preview the game formally and then take you through some of the happenings. Many thanks to you, Mike, for being part of the show, at least giving us some of those tactical analyses I will expect from the camp of Super Eagles tomorrow.
It's always a pleasure doing this with you, and we hope that Finidi George is actually watching right now so that at least he take cognizance of this tactical you know, formation so that he can be able to come out victorious with all 3 points.
Regardless of the formation that will be deployed by Finidi George and his backroom staff, we want to see the Super Eagles of Night. Ekpo Temple is my name, and this is where we will end the show for today. Many thanks to you for being part of the conversation here. But like I said, you can go to our social media platform at Atlantic Television Network and drop your thought on Facebook, Instagram.
Still goes to